Joe Gary, Washington, Boston Globe. 21-point lead. What happened after that, and what saved you? Like, what gave you the fortitude to make plays enough to hold on, obviously on the biggest stage?
Yeah, I mean, you were going to expect a run from them because they had a 19-point quarter, and so, just by the type of shots they take alone, you knew they were going to make some kind of run. Some of those came at the expense of our offense. I thought maybe, we missed a couple reads. They changed coverages and they changed matchups on like 3 or 4 straight possessions, and we missed the read to get the right shot. So I'd say probably 60% of the shots we took in that stretch, we got to get better, and 40% I was okay with. We just missed them. But our one-shot defense and our ability to get back to the game plan, they put a ton of pressure on your defensive game plan throughout, and you just got to stick with the discipline of it. So we were able to do that and make plays down the stretch.
Dave, second row on the left.
Joe, you guys were able to build a 15-point lead, headed into the fourth, and in that 19-point quarter you alluded to for the Mavs, Jaylen and Jason combined for 22. What was working for them that maybe wasn't necessarily there for them in the first half?
Nothing. Our first half points per shot was 1.23, and so I thought we were getting like really good looks. They just weren't falling, and so you just got to stick with it over the course of the entire game. I thought in the third quarter we found the right spacing, we found the right frequency, and we made the right read 6 straight times, which got us those shots, and they were able to fall. And then that's where the second stretch of that fourth quarter. We missed some of those reads, and they were able to come back into the game. So just those guys' ability to know that what shots they're taking and continue to take the right ones over and over again.
John, back right.
Joe, John Corrales, Boston Sports Journal. You went with Xavier Tillman in this one, and he ended up as a +9 overall. What did you see from him? What made you go in that direction?
He played in the Western Conference for 3-4 years, and so he's played against the Mavs, and so he's had that experience. Memphis has used a similar game plan that we have, so he was used to that. And I thought, with that comfort level of playing against those guys for so long, he was going to be able to execute the things that we needed to execute. And so I thought he did a great job in our switching. He did a great job in our screening, getting to our spacing, and that's what we talk about with those guys, is regardless of who's in, who's out, I trust the next man up because of the work they put in and the staff that prepares them.
Jared on the right, third row.
Jared Weiss, The Athletic. You used to get asked if you guys took too many threes for a long time, and it doesn't seem like that question gets asked too much anymore. You had double the number of threes they had for a lot of this game. They start to come back when they actually start taking them. How has your team been able to just stick with that, play through the misses? You're letting them attack your cross matches, and they're taking 2. How does that math play out in the end?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got asked that question a lot just because it was new. Anytime you're developing a new philosophy or a new style, it just takes time for understanding and execution. And so credit to the guys where we've decided how we're going to play, and we fight to do that. And, but also just being flexible in that. So it's not, we don't want to just settle for those. I think our guys have done a good job fighting for the right shot based on what the defense is giving us. We were able to get some of those in the third quarter. So I think it says a lot about them. The guys understand the game. They understand why we do what we do, and they work to execute it as best as they can.
Jay, here in the second row.
What goes into weathering the storm when Kyrie and Luka come out as aggressive as they are, and they're firing on all cylinders in that first half?
Yeah.
What resilience goes into just kind of sticking with it and staying disciplined when they're going like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's first having an awareness as to how are they scoring, what are they doing. You got to ask yourself, are we executing the game plan? Are we giving the shots up that we're willing to give up? And so I think it was one of the quarters we had like 26 points of points that we can control, and so you got to fight like hell to take those away. Once you take those away, then you can either execute or game plan or work to adjust. And so I thought our guys did a great job of understanding the points that we could control, and they fought to take those away throughout the rest of the game.
Tim, all the way in the back.
Joe, you guys had a real big run.
Thank you.
Late in the first quarter of game 1. I think you had one in the third quarter of game 2. You had 2 really big ones tonight. Is that just something innate about this team that they know when there's an opportunity to really hit the gas, or is it just talent sometimes that when you have these big stretches of
pulling away and making it seem so easy?
Well, I would say both teams have a lot of talent, so I think you have to have talent to get to this spot. So that's a given if you want to make it this far. But our guys have a great basketball IQ. They have an understanding of, are we playing the right way? Are we taking the right shots? Are we giving up the right shots? And they know exactly when we're not doing that. And so they have an innate ability to control the runs of the game with the philosophy that we have and execute the things. And so it's just constant building awareness. Are we getting the right shots? Are we giving up the right shots? And then are we winning the transitions? And the guys do a great job of working towards understanding that.
Adam.
All right, so there's Joe Mazzulla going through everything that went into this one about the three-point shooting and taking the right shots and using Xavier Tillman because of his experience in the Western Conference and also playing with Memphis and how that kind of drew into everything. Meanwhile, let's go back through how everything unfolded in the fourth quarter. You got the Celtics who were up 91-70, and then Dallas goes on a furious run. Kyrie knocking down the floater. That made it a one-point game. It was a 22-2 run. Then you have the Celtics closing it out. It's Jaylen Brown with a putback, so they go back up by 3. Then it's Derek White, who I think missed his first 4 threes.
What a pass.
And then went crazy, knocking down that one to make it 6. Then Jason Tatum off the feed from Derek White. Nice gather, puts him back up by 6. And Jaylen Brown, when it was a 2-point game, able to hit the mid-range shot over Tim Hardaway Jr. to make it a 4-point game. Dallas trying to hang around. Kyrie missing the 3, and that leads to the Derek White rebound, and he's fouled by P.J. Washington. Celtics hang on 106-98. And again, it's like, how many times this postseason have we gone through the plays that they have to make at the end of games, and you can see every single guy that's involved on the floor. It's every single guy is contributing out there.
Well, I'll say this. Before, these are games we will find a way to lose. You know what I mean? But now we're finding ways to win them. And that's part of getting over that hump. That's part of taking your bumps and bruises and taking your lumps of, man, I don't want that to ever happen again. What happened last year? What happened earlier in the season or whatever? So I think everybody understands the task, okay? The task is winning a championship. And how do you win a championship? It's all the little small things. It's big players show up in big moments, but also the role players show up and they do all of the small little things that everybody does it. So I think that it's a combination of the misery and also understanding where you're trying to go and where you're this close. We're one game away right now, and I think the attention to detail is going to go even higher in Game 4.
I think Joe Mazzulla, since he got here, has been